Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're across this great world of ours. I wanted to do a quick video. I haven't done a video or completed a video in a few weeks. And the video I wanted to talk about is tomorrow's Columbus Day. And uh, the issue becomes this has always been a holiday for, as far as I can remember, holiday Columbus Day, which is, was supposed to be the founding of America, and the issue becomes we have to reflect how the um, and I hate to use the word atrocities will occur after the interaction between Western Europeans and Native American or indigenous people through the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, predominantly 20th century. And the issue becomes we can go back and talk about Thomas Jefferson, for instance, who looks and calls Native Americans wild savages. So the issue becomes the a part of the principle of white European leadership that Native Americans can be Christianized and turned into American citizens by indoctrination of the Puritan lifestyle or the white European lifestyle or the Presbyterian type of lifestyle. And part of that process becomes, for instance, the Dawes Act of the 1880s. The issue becomes even after the Civil War, Grant becomes president. We get the issue of the Indian issue, and the issue becomes forcing Native Americans onto reservations. Even that principle in itself is somebody that studied a lot of history and has been taking some courses in law, uh, especially property law. That what we're doing is we're forcing an encampment of species of ethnic group onto, not necessarily like, Hitler did, but what we did is like what we FDR did is he would round up a lot of people on the West Coast, Japanese Americans, and put them in encampments. And actually, I think, if you really study this, I think this is probably illegal process of doing this, and and this is something that needs to be addressed at some time in the future. And I've been a big component of that the Bureau of Indian Affairs is an illegal department founded on the use or on the principle or on the cusp of forcing Native Americans either on reservations or on removal, which intent that, we have squatter rights. And what we mean by squatter rights is that they had the land before Western Europeans, and technically Europeans knew about it, and the goal was to force it through either violence or through treaties to force them off the land and move them more westward. And then part of my intent on this is that this was an illegal process, and even though the treaties were, some of them were codified, I, this created issues like with Tecumseh, with uh, the during, where he wanted to create a Native American confederation and to get part of the land for Native Americans. Eventually, like I said, they forced reservations into Oklahoma, but then again, the issue becomes in the late 19th, early 20th century with the discovery of oil. Then, excuse me, most of the Native Americans are forced or moved off some of these lands and sold their mineral rights are sold to investors and speculators. So, for the most part, a lot of atrocities occur, and the issue becomes uh, need to go in a different light about this and create a new age of you know creating self autonomy for the Native Americans. But with that said, when I looked at this, I was thinking today, that uh, we need to get to a point where uh, the issue becomes, and one thing that that I'm also going to look at doing is creating a nonprofit, but that's going to be on safe and clean water, because of the fact of the matter is that we need safe and clean water, and the issue becomes, especially in the Southwest, when some of these areas become so arid and the populations increase there, uh, the issue becomes we're forcing people to migrate into areas where the demand for water is higher than the resource that is available. So, in essence, what we're doing is creating havoc for for not necessarily my generations, but the generation and the generation after that, to more or less solve the problem. And I'm a big advocate that what a lot of policies that have been done for the last 50, 60 years, even 80 years, other than the environmental movement in the 1970s, is more or less kick the can down the road and leave the problem for somebody else. And, we're at that point right now that the problem is is everybody's problem, and the problem needs to be solved. So anyway, the issue here becomes that we need to be aware not the significance of Columbus Day, but the consequence of Columbus Day had on different aspects of minorities, especially indigenous people, in especially North American, especially in the United States. And also, I could throw in there Mexico too, because of the fact that we had the Mexican War, where we wanted Texas as part of land grab, and really we forced a war on a sovereign nation so that we could get Texas. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad nor it's good, but it is the old cliche, it is what it is. But the issue becomes looking at issues and solving issues, because it's more or less the issue of, if we're a society that we're supposed to be moral and upright, we need to convey that message to other people. Anyway, please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any comments, please reach out to me at B. Thomas Miller Psych. It's B. Thomas Miller Psych at gm.com. Anyway, folks, have a great day, and I will be talking to you real soon. Have a great day. Bye.